Canned tuna feels simple. Pop the lid, mix with mayo, spread it on bread. A quick, protein-packed meal we've trusted for decades. But what if I told you that inside those innocent cans are secrets most people never hear about? From mercury spikes to shocking recalls, from price-fixing scandals to hidden allergens, the truth is enough to make you look twice at your pantry. Today, we're exposing 8 canned tuna brands sold in the United States that aren't as safe or wholesome as you might think. These are brands you'll find on grocery shelves every single day. Some have cheated customers, some have risked their health, and some have even ended up in federal court. If you eat tuna regularly, what you're about to hear matters. Bumblebee. Bumblebee is one of America's oldest tuna companies, but behind that history is a mess of scandals. A few years ago, Bumblebee was caught red-handed in a price-fixing scheme that cheated shoppers out of fair prices for years. Their own CEO went to prison, and the company was fined millions. That means the tuna you bought during that time wasn't just overpriced, it was deliberately overpriced. Beyond price, Bumblebee has faced questions about sustainability. Investigations revealed troubling ties to overfishing and poor labor practices at sea. While the company claims its tuna is responsibly sourced, critics say not all of it meets that standard. For customers who care about what they're eating and how it's caught, that's a betrayal. And let's not forget safety. Bumblebee once recalled over 30,000 cans after discovering a processing defect that left tuna undercooked. Undercooked canned food can breed dangerous bacteria. One slip at the factory, and what should be safe shelf-stable food turns into a serious risk. When you add it all up, legal scandals, recalls, and questionable sourcing, Bumblebee proves that even a household name can't always be trusted. StarKist. StarKist, the company behind Charlie the Tuna, has long dominated grocery shelves. But behind the cartoon mascot is a record just as troubling. Like Bumblebee, StarKist was also part of the price-fixing conspiracy. They were fined the maximum amount allowed by law, $100 million. Prosecutors said StarKist knowingly cheated American families by keeping tuna prices artificially high. They were also accused of underfilling cans. A class action lawsuit revealed that consumers weren't always getting the full amount of tuna they paid for. In the end, StarKist had to compensate buyers with either cash or tuna vouchers. Imagine that. Buying tuna and then years later being repaid in more tuna. And of course, there are the health concerns. StarKist's white albacore tuna is known to have significantly higher mercury levels than light tuna. Mercury builds up in large fish like albacore, and while all tuna contains some, albacore carries far more risk. For older adults, mercury can damage the nervous system and impair brain health. StarKist may still be everywhere, but its history of cheating customers and its mercury risks make it a brand worth questioning. Chicken of the Sea. Chicken of the Sea may sound harmless, but its track record is not. They were also involved in the price-fixing scandal. The only reason they escaped punishment was because they cooperated with authorities as a whistleblower. In plain English, they were guilty too, but got leniency for speaking up first. Then there's safety. In one of the largest tuna recalls in recent memory, Chicken of the Sea pulled back over 100,000 cans after discovering they might not have been properly sterilized during processing. That mistake could have allowed dangerous bacteria to grow inside sealed cans. The recall notice warned that consuming them could cause life-threatening illness. Being owned by Thai Union, one of the largest seafood corporations in the world, Chicken of the Sea, has also faced accusations of poor sustainability practices and questionable labor conditions in its supply chain. While the company promises improvements, watchdog groups have often ranked it low for environmental responsibility. When a brand has been linked to corporate fraud, dangerous recalls, and ongoing questions about ethics, you have to wonder, is that really the can of tuna you want to trust? Great value. Walmart's Great Value brand is all about low-cost staples, but their tuna has some hidden details most shoppers don't realize. Unlike many competitors, Great Value tuna is packed with vegetable broth in addition to water. That broth can contain hidden allergens, and the label even warns it may include traces of wheat, soy, milk, eggs, sesame, or coconut. For anyone with food sensitivities, that's a serious concern. No one expects gluten or milk proteins in a can of tuna, but here they are. There's also the issue of packaging. Many bargain brands, including Great Value, still use BPA in their can linings. BPA is a chemical that can leach into food and has been linked to hormone disruption. While other brands boast about switching to BPA-free packaging, Walmart hasn't made that same promise clear on all products. And then there's sodium. One small serving of Great Value tuna can contain nearly a quarter of your daily salt intake. For people watching their blood pressure, that's a problem. It may look like a bargain, but when you add in allergens, BPA, and excess salt, Great Value tuna might cost you more than you think. Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's has a reputation for quality, but even they stumbled. In 2025, Trader Joe's had to recall multiple canned tuna products because of a manufacturing defect. The problem was with the pull-tab lids. Some weren't sealed properly. That meant bacteria, including botulism, could have contaminated the food. Botulism is rare, but potentially fatal. Even one bad can could have been devastating, especially for older adults who may already have weaker immune systems and would be more vulnerable to severe illness. The good news is, no illnesses were reported. But for a company known for careful sourcing, it was a shock. Customers who trusted Trader Joe's brand suddenly had to return cans or throw them away, and many were left questioning how such a mistake could slip through. The bigger lesson here is that Trader Joe's doesn't manufacture its own tuna. Like most retailers, it relies on outside suppliers. And if those suppliers cut corners, even a respected brand's reputation is on the line. It only takes one defect, one recall, to shake customer trust and change how people view the name on the label. Suddenly, Trader Joe's tuna doesn't sound so safe anymore. H-E-B. This is beloved in Texas, where its stores are often considered the gold standard for groceries. But its store-brand tuna was also part of the 2025 recall linked to defective cans. The same supplier that packed Trader Joe's tuna had also packed HEBs. Those faulty seals meant some cans could have been contaminated with botulism toxin. The company urged customers to return them immediately, even if the cans looked fine. For shoppers who rely on HEB as their trusted one-stop shop, it was unsettling to learn that such a serious risk had slipped through undetected. This wasn't HEB's fault directly, it was their suppliers. But for shoppers, that distinction hardly matters. When you open a can with HEB's name on it, you expect safety. That recall was a reminder that even trusted regional chains are only as reliable as the factories they partner with. It forced many to realize that loyalty to a store brand doesn't always guarantee protection when something goes wrong further down the chain. For thousands of loyal customers, it was a wake-up call. Always check recall notices, no matter how much you love the store. Kirkland. Costco's Kirkland signature brand is famous for bulk deals and loyal fans, but their tuna ended up in legal trouble over its labels. In 2022, a lawsuit accused Costco of misleading shoppers with dolphin-safe claims. The suit argued that the fishing methods used to catch Kirkland tuna could still harm dolphins, despite what the labels promised. Shoppers who cared about marine life were misled into thinking they were buying a more ethical product, and many were outraged that their trust might have been violated. To make matters more complicated, Kirkland's tuna is actually supplied by Bumblebee. So the same company that was convicted of price fixing is the one behind Costco's private label. That means even when you think you're buying from Costco, you're really tied to the practices of a supplier with a checkered history. For consumers, this creates two issues. First, possible harm to dolphins despite the label. Second, the fact that Costco, known for quality control, was selling tuna from a company with a history of fraud. Together, these problems cast a shadow over Kirkland's reputation, making shoppers wonder if the promise of better standards is truly being kept. Kirkland tuna may taste fine, but the questions surrounding its sourcing and labeling leave a bitter aftertaste. Van Camp's. Van Camp's is an old brand with a long history in American pantries. But in 2025, it too was swept up in the botulism scare. The same defective can lids that hit Trader Joe's and H-E-B also affected Van Camp's tuna. Certain lots had to be pulled from shelves because they could have been deadly if consumed. For a brand that prides itself on tradition, being part of a recall for something as serious as botulism was devastating. Many long-time customers who grew up with the name Van Camp's were stunned to see it linked to such a dangerous incident. Van Camp's also markets varieties like solid light tuna that may include species you don't expect. Some cans list wahoo mixed in with the tuna. While not harmful, it raises eyebrows. Customers buy tuna expecting tuna, not other fish mixed in. It adds another layer of doubt, leaving shoppers wondering if they're really getting what they thought they paid for. After more than a century in business, Van Camp's has seen highs and lows. But in recent years, the lows have included serious safety scares. Let's talk about a few best options you should consider instead. Wild Planet. Wild Planet has built its reputation on one thing: sustainability without shortcuts. Unlike many mainstream brands, Wild Planet catches its tuna using pole and line methods, which significantly reduces bycatch of dolphins and other marine life. That means you're not just getting tuna, you're supporting a process that respects the ocean and its fragile balance. But the benefits go beyond the environment. Independent tests have shown that Wild Planet tuna tends to have lower mercury levels compared to mass-market options. For older adults, mercury exposure is a very real concern, since it can affect brain health and increase risks over time. Wild Planet's careful sourcing makes it one of the few brands that consistently delivers safer results. The taste is also noticeably different. Because they use higher quality skipjack and albacore, the meat is firm, flavorful, and packed neatly without fillers or excess liquid. You're getting more protein in every bite, rather than a watery mix. Safe Catch. Safe Catch has taken a bold approach to canned tuna. Every single fish they use is tested for mercury before it ever reaches the can. That's not a marketing slogan. It's the company's core promise. For health-conscious consumers, especially seniors, this kind of testing means you know exactly what you're putting into your body, without the hidden risks that come from guesswork. Beyond mercury testing, Safe Catch doesn't add any fillers, preservatives, or artificial flavors. What you see on the label is exactly what you get. They also cook the tuna once, directly in the can, which helps preserve nutrients like omega-3 fatty acids that support heart and brain health. It's a process that results in a product that's not just safer, but also more nourishing. Taste-wise, Safe Catch feels different. The tuna comes out firm, less mushy, and closer to the texture of fresh fish. It's proof that you don't need chemical tricks or questionable sourcing to make canned tuna both safe and satisfying. Canned tuna is supposed to be simple, yet as we've seen, each of these 8 brands hides a story that's anything but. Bumblebee, Starkist, and Chicken of the Sea were all caught colluding to cheat customers. Great Value sneaks in allergens and BPA. Trader Joe's, HEB, and Van Camp's faced recalls that exposed consumers to botulism risks. Kirkland ended up in court over dolphin-safe claims while quietly sourcing from a company with a criminal record. Add in the unpredictable mercury levels that can spike from can to can, and suddenly that humble tuna sandwich doesn't seem so innocent anymore. So what can you do? Choose light or skipjack tuna instead of albacore to lower mercury exposure. Look for no salt-added varieties to protect your heart. And when a recall hits the news, don't ignore it, check your pantry. Because at the end of the day, you deserve better than hidden scandals, misleading labels, or health risks in something as basic as a can of tuna.